hamburger give toy. Want a hamburger give video game instead. This video on that.
Welcome to the friendly, pissed off, angry, crucified, banned from Comic-Con caveman video game nerd. He's the angriest gamer who's a caveman you've ever heard. He's the friendly, pissed off, angry, crucified, blacklisted from Comic-Con video game caveman nerd. And he reviews it so you don't have to. Last time, we peeled back the wrapper on junk food video games, but I thought it was time that we took a step into the brick and morty restaurants that will do anything to get you into the door. Except making their food good, or training their staff well, or paying them a living wage, or... From retro platformers aimed at children to Call of Duty operator skins, which I guess are also aimed at children. It feels weird to tell these corporations to stay out of the damn video games when they've literally been doing it since before I was alive, but the evolution of them is truly fascinating, and it's something I thought we could talk about today. So let me take you back to the past to talk about the shitty games that suck ass as we dive into the early days of fast food video games. Now, back in the late 80s and early 90s, home computers had yet to beige their way onto the scene in a major way. So home consoles and arcades were the only places that these games could be. Now, as you'll see in this list, pretty much every major American fast food chain tried their hand at gaming at one point or another, but there's one that stands out amongst all of them, one who really made a concerted effort over several decades to integrate itself into the gaming space. They are the largest fast food chain, and I believe also the most desperate. I'm of course talking about McDonald's. So it's no wonder that once gaming became a big enough demo to market to, McDonald's dived feet first with two big red clown shoes straight into video games. Starting with Donaldland. Hey kids, it's me! 1988's Donaldland. Do I make you want to eat a hamburger, kids? What about now? Let's talk about Donaldland. 1988's Donaldland, the very first McDonald's type video game. It is a Japanese game, interestingly enough. The game centers on Ronald McDonald, known in Japan as Donald McDonald. Most of Ronald's companions have been kidnapped and all the animals have turned feral. Woof. That sucks. I hate when all my companions are kidnapped and my animals have turned feral. This is Donaldland for the Famicom, the family computer, also known as the NES outside Japan. I found the platforming in it a little bit finicky when I played it on stream. It's not the smoothest platforming, and your only weapon is throwing apples. I'm not sure if that's something Ronald's known for. I'm not sure if it was part of McDonald's insidious campaign to convince parents that it's actually healthy to go there because you can buy your kids fucking apple slices instead of chips. That'll solve it. They do explode too, so maybe that's kind of like, hey, if you eat anything that isn't McDonald's, but watch out. The IRA's on a streak. They've now taken to the same tactics that drug dealers use by injecting explosives into candy that they give out on Halloween. And that's the lore of Donaldland as I interpret it. Oh, and also the animals are all feral. Overall, pretty good game to start with, I think. Especially with how bad some of these branded games have been, like we saw on the junk food gaming list. It's fun. Maybe because it's Japan, there's kind of like a reverence for the characters that I feel like the rest of the world doesn't quite have. McDonald's has this thing where every country they go to, they seem to try and ingratiate themselves with the locals. The recording for this video was so much fun that I ended up going on all sorts of random tangents, which I had to cut for time since they weren't related to video games. But if you like my content, want some more, or just have an extra 5 big schmackos in your back pocket, you want to throw out your favorite word speaker, then head on over to bloody patreon.com/manykudos and join all of these fantastic folk who get to watch the extended cut with over 12 minutes of bonus footage. Wow. Oh, and they're 2 days earlier too. Alright, let's move on to the next game in our list. 1992's McKids, or MC Kids. Now, I actually mentioned this in my previous video on junk food video games because MC Kids was reskinned in other regions as the Cool Spot game. They literally just swapped out the main character's sprite and, you know, a couple of the power-ups and shit like that, and they just made it a completely different branded game. MC Kids was the original version, and the game is Super Mario Bros. So they ripped it off pretty heavily. The player can choose to play as one of two MC Kids. There's no difference between the two children aside from their skin color and hairstyles. Aww. We're all the same deep down. The game has two box arts. This is the North American one. In North American box art fashion, it fucking sucks. Here's the one they got in Europe. This fucking rules. The game is all about two prepubescent boys running around the 9 realms to find Ronald's magic bag. What you'll notice from this and I guess some of the more successful ones is that they actually got very little to do with, I guess, the brand itself. I know there's these M's scattered around, but like, it's not like those M&M's games where it's set in like a McDonald's restaurant or something. Enemies are all just kind of, that looks like Brian Griffin. That looks like fucking, who's the dog that replaced Brian Griffin? Vinny?
Hey, Family Guy.
Here's a promotional piece of artwork for it. This is back when they were trying to make game developers the next rock stars. Especially back then, like a major release, a AAA release could have been done by like 3 guys. It was pretty much indie gaming back then, but they were really desperate to make people like John Romero into like this rock star auteur who can do no wrong. Okay, here's the guy who made MC Kids, I guess. Can't talk long, I'm playing MC Kids. Way wildest game ever. I should know. Me, Darren Bartlett, invented it. That's MCs in major, cool, mega challenging, mondo crazy. As in the MC Kids, Mick and Mac. 2 cool dudes I mind warped into McDonaldland. Who turned the whole place upside down. This is totally upside down. That's kind of fun. Do have to point out, I do like Nash. Should we get that on a t-shirt? Do you want Nash on the next fantasy division? Just fucking a JPEG of this. You like shirts, son? You like tote bags? You like beautiful hats that protect your head from the elements? Wow. Boy, do I have the website for you. Fantasy Division .online. My 90s and 2000s retro PC gaming inspired clothing brand. We still have most things, but we are running out of a few sizes, so better get in quick. And you better go to Fantasy Division .online right now. The other thing I found funny about this is the programmer of MC Kids, not the guy on the poster, unfortunately. Greg Tavares has a real fry on his shoulder about this game. On the Wikipedia alone, there's 2 different entries that mention how he feels ripped off. That someone made a Mario fan mod of the game, and also was pissed off that it didn't do as good as other games on the Virgin brand. McDonald's was going to support this with a Happy Meal promotion, but for some reason just decided not to at the end, maybe pulling out after they saw the subpar quality of the game. MC Kids got okay reviews at the time. Personally, I didn't like it. I thought it sucked chode. Sorry, Greg. This is Global Gladiators, a 1992 platform game developed by Virgin Games. It's based on the McDonald's fast food chain, that was obvious, and has a strong environmentalism message. So, ladies and gentlemen, I come to you this evening with grave news. Unfortunately, Mick and Mac, as the Global Gladiators for the Sega Genesis, has gone woke. Yeah, nothing much to say here. It's a platform game based on the fast food, whatever the fuck I said before, with a strong environmentalism message. There's literally a bonus level where you recycle. But the game was actually very well received and considered one of the better branded games you could get at the time. I do like how the Global Gladiators use a Super Soaker type gun that reminds me of this fucking... the fucking Jizzinator. Can we show this? Just make it red or something? Like dye it? But then it's just cum. You just made cum. Nerf this! So this next one I actually fucking love. It's awesome. McDonald's Treasureland Adventure. Once again, those crazy Japanese are absolutely fucking cooking. This box art's pretty fun. It's a 1993 platform game developed by Treasure. There's shenanigans, and Ronald McDonald needs you to like get his bag, his magic sack. It's kind of like Sonic, except I kind of like the speed of this one better. This one you have a bunch of different powers depending on which direction you're pointing. You can either throw handkerchiefs, which is always fun, or you can throw magic dust, throw fentanyl at a US policeman. Also probably like one of the more whimsical kind of like, yeah, this does feel like the sort of place Ronald McDonald would live in. It's just chaos. One of the fun facts about McDonald's Treasureland Adventure is that McDonald's asked them to remove lava from one of the levels since it's too dangerous and could be scary, I guess, for children. They said we changed the palette for the lava to blue and called it water. which it looks like boiling water, which arguably in my mind feels worse to fall into than lava. I mean, lava would suck. I feel like it would be a lot quicker than boiling to death. I guess you're kind of boiling to death either way, but one way's just a bit quicker. The American version also changes the tribesmen enemies from stereotypical natives to electronic robots. Really cooking on the racism level here by putting big red lips on the shield, which they changed to be robots. They really liked the lips. They kept the lips. Let's leave the Golden Arches and let's move over to Burger King. Burger King has made a couple of games, although we'll get to the more famous ones later. Still in the early console era, they actually had McDonald's beat by a couple of years with Whopper Chase for the Commodore 64. The game itself was part of a Spanish Burger King promotion. Here's a poster of the promotion that advertises the game. Translate this. Come to Burger King. Hunt down your Whopper and get your Whopper Chase. Your Whopper Chase is waiting for you at Burger King, the most fun and exciting game for your computer. Come to Burger King, order your Whopper, and get your Whopper Chase. So yeah, I guess they just gave this shit away with a Whopper meal. So the game is set in the year 2025. Yeah, they did get that right. Thanks to hard work and dedication, Burger King has created a Whopper that you don't need to go get. It will come to you. Ironically, I guess that is true, just not them. It's a team of underpaid gig workers. So this is honestly quite a dark game. You're kind of solemnly marching to your death, to your inevitable fate, which is being inside my tummy. Oh, Jesus worked on this one. I was wondering what I've been up to since the cave. Okay, so obviously you're the Whopper. So we're gonna take out these. But what happens if I just keep spamming? The guys behind me can't catch up. Are we seeing any reason to do anything other than just spam? Oh no! See a carbo? Pulsa fuego para pizza. Is this the hungry patron? Oh. So that's Whopper Chase. But don't worry, this isn't the last that we'll see of Burger King on this list. The last game I want to talk about in the classic console era is Yo Noid, which is unironically a fucking awesome title. This is a Doinmos branded game for their Noid character. If for some reason you don't know who the Noid is and you didn't watch my previous video, the Noid was a marketing ploy, a creature, a fun character for kids to relate to. He's the personification of annoyance. Trying to ruin your pizza. He's the reason why your pizza comes cold and smashed. But Domino's has rounded up all the Noids and put them in a big concentration camp.
The Noid loves to ruin pizza.
The Noid is funny because he's not a good guy. He's a baddie. But the problem is, he's got a fun design, and kids like him. So they were like, fuck, we don't have any other mascot. Just give him a game. Now, Yo Noid is, again, like the second or third time this has happened in this list, where they took a game, a Japanese game, and they reskinned it for the international audience. In this case, it was a game known as Kamen no Ninja Hanamaru, which if you search it, just comes up with Yo Noid. See if you can spot the difference here. Couple similarities, but you know, it is a pretty extensive overhaul. Like pretty much all the graphics have been altered. I tried this game out on stream and honestly, the platforming was really fun. However, see how the camera's swaying up and down? That has a gameplay purpose. The waves at the bottom of the screen, if you touch them, you will, of course, die. The problem with that is for some reason they've decided to tie the camera to the movement of the waves, and it makes the entire game feel very sickly to play. It's not nice. You could have still had the waves come up and down, but you could just had like a static flat camera that's always on the same plane or something. The only other fun thing to point out is the manual came with a $1 Domino's pizza coupon. $2.75 today. Thanks, I guess.
And now, a very brief Gamer Subs ad.
Gamer Subs! It's not piss! Gamer Subs cannot guarantee the exclusion of urine in Trinidad and Tobago. Go to gamersubs.gg/kudos for 10% off. Alright, let's wash our hands of these old console games and the very dodgy McDonald's toilets. And let's move on to the era of the family computer. This first game here, Adventures Through McDonaldland, is honestly the reason I wanted to do this. Back when we were doing research for this on my stream over on twitch.tv/minikudos, or on my second channel, someone suggested Adventures Through McDonaldland. I can't remember who that was. I'm very sorry. Adventures Through McDonaldland is a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. It's a simple children's point-and-click adventure game. Nothing too crazy there. Two things. It was released in 1998. It has heavy use of early CG, early 3D. The real cherry on top, the kind of the final little piece de resistance that brings us all together, is it's an Australian game. So Ronald McDonald sounds like this.
Hi, I'm Ronald McDonald, the world famous magical clown.
Now, I tried my fucking hardest to get this game to run on my computer, and it just does not. I tried every compatibility mode available, and it just would not install. So unfortunately, I've had to live vicariously through videos on the internet.
Welcome to my first Ronald McDonald CD. There's so many games to play and things to do, and you can join us on our adventures through McDonaldland. How's this for magic? Look!
Whoa! You fucking scared me, Donald. What do we have hidden behind 1999? Oh, it's a calendar.
September.
Did you know that in 2 years' time from today, it'll be the first day of the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games? Wow, didn't that go quick?
Whoa. That did go quick. It went so quick, it's 25 fucking years ago. McDonaldland has obviously taken a lot from Pajama Sam, Putt Putt, Freddy the Fish, and that it's like a children's point-and-click adventure game where most of the features you can see on screen are clickable or interactable in some way. Ooh. This is fun. Oh, that's not though. It's actually a really, I don't know. It's a fun game. Like obviously the CG is something else. Like it's not good 3D, but it also is kind of amazing 3D. It's so funny how these things come in vogue. It must be how it felt to like grow up with the record player and then see like hipsters getting into records in like the 2010s. Because now I see a lot of people getting into this as an art style, myself included, really phoning in guard duty. He's not paying attention at all.
Very smart.
The Adventures Through McDonaldland sound department was like, okay, voices about here. This sounds kind of good. Door creaking sounds. Let's just pump those up. Actually, no, can we go a bit higher than that? Can we get much higher? Door creak. The game also came with this, honestly, kind of fucking amazing selection of coupons. There's a free bacon and egg McMuffin, free hash brown. The hash brown looks like a minion with a very hairy dick. A lot of free snacks. But yeah, otherwise, pretty good deals. They also made a second one, Mission to McDonaldland. In a very Tarantino move, they decided to have Adventures Through McDonaldland come before the Mission to McDonaldland. So we're doing a prequel.
They'll just run after the mouse. If you want to make them do special moves, then click on the right mouse button. Try playing with the buttons as you move the mouse around to see what happens.
Anyway, that's Mission to McDonaldland. There's a couple of other fun ones here. Here's McDonald's t-shirt fun. Create personalized and exciting art for t-shirts, caps, bibs, sweatshirts, tank tops, and duffel bags. It also comes with a sheet of iron-on paper. I don't know if this is still a thing, but back in the day, you'd use your home printer to print onto ironable paper, and then you'd iron it on your t-shirt, and you'd have the shittiest t-shirt design of all time that absolutely fucking does not go through the wash. Hi kids, just click on me when you need help. There was also McDonaldland, create and paint, kind of I guess a Photoshop, probably more user-friendly than Photoshop, honestly. Create paintings, drawings, characters, even your own storybook. Oh, and you can listen to your favorite McDonaldland pals narrate fantastic stories. I can't tell whether this is insidious or not. With how endemic childhood obesity was, and probably still is to this day, in part thanks to businesses like McDonald's and their heavy marketing to children. I just feel kind of weird to have it like, well, you can listen to your favorite McDonaldland pals. You know, your good friends, your buddies, or your besties. These guys would never do you wrong. I know you're 28 and you'd never learned to cook, but just gotta get some more McDonald's. There's also McDonald's silly games. They don't seem that silly, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like I've seen sillier. There's Jump and Slide, Picture Dominoes, and of course Tic-Tac-Toe, with somehow an even more terrifying rendition of the Fry Girls guys. But we're moving into the 2000s now with a range of Taco Bell games. The Taco Bell Tasty Temple Challenge, which is a game that came out in 2000 for DOS. I'm pretty sure it's a reskin of Doom, but unlike every other game on this list, it's very difficult to find out anything about this game. Taco Bell, the Tasty Temple Challenge, which again is it's like a Doom-like game. This guy can't walk around a power-up. That seems like a bit of an oversight. Because it can only render a few feet in front, it's actually quite scary. There's something very off-putting about it. Feels like I'm playing like Baldi's Basics or something. And they have constant sound effects every time they walk. It's like the sound effects when you're in Minecraft and you can just hear creepy monsters of the night. You attack with hot sauce, which seems kind of, are you saying this could happen to me, Taco Bell? Is this what happens to my asshole every time I eat your abysmal food? Also, the attack sound effect for using the hot sauce sounds like Michael Jackson. While I was looking at these links, mere moments before recording, I actually stumbled upon something new. So this is live. This is a live update. I found a listing for a trio of games, one of which is the Tasty Temple Challenge. We also have the Taco Maker Marathon and Jumping Bean Jamboree. All three seem to be from the same promotion. And again, it really is weirdly hard to find out anything about these games. Okay, so you have to push the product into the machine. Oh, that's kind of dark. He was gored up and turned into a taco. Okay, so that's that one. What's the other one? Jumping Bean Jamboree. Oh, so it's, yeah, Breakout. This has Doplex written all over it. I like how while McDonald's was afraid to have lava in their Adventures Through McDonaldland game out of fear that it's too dangerous, Taco Bell literally has a river of blood. Interesting. Okay, well anyway, so that was the Taco Bell era of games. And with that, we suddenly enter the age of the internet. So there's some fun entries on the early internet side of video game promotions. This isn't really a game or anything, it's more of an integration, but I love this. Everything about this to me is like cozy. So back in 2005, Everquest 2 added in a feature where you could type /pizza into the game and a web browser would launch that would take you to the ordering section of pizzahut.com. With one stroke of the keys, you could be on pizzahut.com ordering yourself a hot fresh pizza. And honestly, just that picture in my mind, 2005, you're playing Everquest 2, you're settling in for a big night of raiding or whatever, and you order a Pizza Hut pepperoni. Damn. That's a fantastic night. The Subservient Chicken is an advertising program created to promote international fast food restaurant chain Burger King's Tender Crisp Chicken Sandwich and their Have It Your Way campaign. It was a website where you could command a chicken to do a variety of actions, including some quite raunchy and adult ones. This is the chicken. This is a man in a chicken costume. It's horrifying. Kind of feels like I'm on Chatterbait. You can kind of just tell this dude to do whatever. If we say like dance, for example, the video kind of clunkily jumps. This was obviously filmed over the course of like a whole day. So like the set changes quite a bit between some of these shots. If we go on the Wikipedia, you can see there's more than 300 commands. And some kind of interesting ones here. You know, you're thinking this is going to be some kind of G-rated, like family-friendly promo because it's, you know, for a major corporation. But they've got stuff like shake your booty. A lot of pissing ones. March like a German soldier. This promotion was hugely successful according to clicks. They had 6 to 8 million daily visitors. That's pretty impressive for early internet. Think about 6 to 8 million daily visitors on like a YouTube video. 8 million views in a day. That's pretty crazy. So the site launched in 2004 and it was aimed at an interesting group of people. On the website ClickZ, a spokesperson for Burger King said that they were wanting to target the elusive adults in their early 20s and 30s, the 18 to 34-year-old men, the so-called missing men who aren't watching TV. This audience embraces the internet. I find that just so fascinating because that's just all of us now. But yeah, it's just fascinating that these companies that for so long have been able to rely on TV, print, and radio now suddenly have to contend with this new thing, the internet. And it's like, how do you even approach something like that? Honestly, the fact that they did stick their neck out for this and it was so successful is kind of cool. So we're in the 2000s now. The internet's doing its thing. Let's quickly jump back over to console to talk about the Burger King Xbox 360 games. So a little fun fact, we actually have the Subservient Chicken to thank for the Burger King Xbox 360 games. According to Game Developer Magazine, it all started when senior executives from Microsoft and Burger King met to accept an award in Cannes for their respective I Love Bees and Subservient Chicken campaigns. As talks continued, a plan emerged that focused on developing 3 Burger King specific games. These Burger King Xbox 360 games are probably some of the most well-known fast food video games. But this was a trio of Burger King themed Xbox games, sold as a promotion from November until December 24th, 2006. These games were developed by Blitz Games, which if you haven't heard of that name before, there's probably a good reason. They're one of those companies that just make these kind of fucking games. These, like, you know, third-party licensed games from that particular era where those were just bad. Did they make anything good? They made the Chicken Run video game. What the fuck? And they made Epic Mickey 2. Did they make Epic Mickey 1? Okay, they just made Epic Mickey 2. All right. So, you know, they're one of those types of companies. The games were originally created as downloadable games for the Xbox Live Arcade, which kind of makes sense when you see the games. Like, they feel very much like a small mini game kind of game as opposed to like a full open world adventure linear with an epic story about the Burger King's rise to power, betrayal of his son, the Hamburglar. These games were available as part of a promotion from November until December 24th of 2006 for $3.99. You could add one on to any value meal. You know, $4 for a full boxed Xbox 360 game. That feels pretty good. These games include Pocket Bike Racer, Big Bumpin', and the one that I think most people recognize, Sneaking. Pocket Bike Racer and Big Bumpin' are both, they're like a Mario Party mini game that you split out into a whole video game. Racing around the Burger King car park is honestly kind of genius as a setting. Like, yeah, this is the sort of place you would see like TikTok videos of guys fucking hooning around on tiny bikes in. Look at those amazing cloth physics. I feel like the novelty or the humor of racing on a tiny bike is kind of lost when you can't even see the bike because you're wearing such a long coat. Big Bumpin', on the other hand, was kind of just a series of little party kind of games. You play all your favorite Burger King characters, like Human Man in a burger outfit and the King. So those other two kind of felt like Mario Party mini games with the Burger King King just sort of tacked onto it. This third game, Sneaking, is easily the most memorable, simply because it actually feels like a Burger King game. At the time, Burger King was running a series of advertisements that featured the Burger King King, reimagined as a creepy, weird fellow, often finding himself in kind of weird, surreal positions where he unnerves the viewer and everyone around, while also giving them delicious Burger King food. And that's what you do in this game. Kind of like the Metal Gear Solid of our Burger King games. Looks like Newtown. These games were hugely successful for Burger King. When they were released, they saw a 40% increase in profits for that quarter, and it also sold over 3.2 million units, 2,700 of which ended up with this guy on Reddit. 2,706 copies of Sneak King. There's this post-mortem here in Game Developer magazine, which I found quite interesting. They point out that there's actually no Burger King logos in any of the menus or in the HUD. They do still exist in game, as we saw before in the Pocket Bike Racer. There was a level set in a Burger King car park, but again, that feels correct. That makes sense logically, which I think does a good job of kind of like advertising to you without making you feel like you're being advertised to. Just because I don't know where else to put this, here's a Hooter's Road Trip for the PS1. You might notice that it doesn't look like there's any Hooters parts in it. This game was originally going to be called Freewheelin' USA, but I guess maybe they needed some financial compensation to get this game published, so they slapped on the Hooters brand. And you might wonder what that means. That just means at the end of every mission you get a beautiful video of one of the lovely Hooters girls saying good job.
Yeah, you finished first! Yeah.
Now, of course, this list wouldn't be complete without at least a small mention to the Nintendo DS training game for the McDonald's Corporation eCrew development program. This was a Nintendo DS game distributed in Japan exclusively to McDonald's restaurant. This game was considered lost media for ages until another YouTuber found it. There's a whole video on it. I think is he a There's something wrong with him. The game is, I mean, kind of what you'd expect. It's a training simulator for McDonald's staff in Japan, but it's honestly a really, really cool game. Way better than you'd think something like this would be for such a limited, release as well. Again, this wasn't sold in stores. This was given to McDonald's restaurants with an accompanying McDonald's DS. You also needed a password which was provided to the restaurants. The Japanese just love nothing more than absolutely cooking when it comes to McDonald's video games. I feel like every McDonald's video game out of Japan was like just way better than it ever needed to be. And I think this is a great example of that. So that leads us to today. These days, releasing a console game, it was kind of like back when the home computer came on the scene, and all of a sudden, we don't have to deal with, printing on cartridges anymore, selling these full price big games. We can just make little stupid games for the PC. But now it's like, you've got the internet. You can just upload shit. You can just upload a game to the internet and people can just play that. That is the most that these companies are willing to do these days. And I mean, I don't blame them, right? Like, it was a little egregious to expect people to pay full price for a game that is, again, essentially advertising fast food to you. As nice as the 16-bit soundtrack was. These days you get stuff like Chinese Angry Birds McDonald's, which sounds like a Cold One's Fiverr request. Chinese Angry Birds McDonald's is a flash game. It's just Angry Birds. It's Angry Birds, but they swapped out some of the skins to be McDonald's items. Also, it's in Chinese. Yeah, I guess you can say I'm a bit of an Angry Birds legend. So now I praised Burger King before for having that pocket bike racer game set in the car park. For, that kind of makes logical sense in the world. Not so sure about the Angry Birds pig fortress being set outside of a Chinese McDonald's. Although, to be fair, I have never been to a Chinese McDonald's. Here's the Chinese Angry Birds McDonald's wiki. Glad someone's maintaining this page. Here's, they put in all the characters you can play as. You really can do anything if you set your mind to it, huh? What kind of fake language is that? I do like how they're like, okay, obviously they have to be slingshot from the McDonald's arches. Obviously they're just gonna fucking smear across the large arch in the middle. Hold on, let's go frame by frame. What did they do? Oh no, they actually, they broke the laws of physics and somehow found upwards momentum at the last moment. There's a Chinese Colonel Sanders robot who gives out League of Legends stats and predictions, but that sounds a little bit too much for you guys. I don't think you can quite handle that. So we're just going to cut straight to the Colonel Sanders dating sim. This is a Steam game. I tried to play this on stream and I hated it. No, I'm just kidding. This is the like 90% of the way there anime parody. This feels like a lifetime ago. This is, I feel like, kind of around the height of the kind of like Wendy's, Twitter, like, whoa, brands are all funny and irreverent now and quirky. Well, watch this, kids. We can duck and weave too. We're with it. We're with the times. Look, we made a video game. It's free on Steam. It's a Colonel Sanders dating sim. But you didn't expect that. But you didn't expect Colonel Sanders, who famously fucking hated KFC at the end of his life, to come back as a hot anime man.
Hey, that's not the real Colonel Sanders. I'm the real Colonel Sanders.
That must be weird for his like kids and grandkids, right? Assuming he has some. Like, this company's running with your granddad's legacy and turning him into like a meme character. Picture your granddad in your head right now, and then just imagine fucking Burger King being like, made your granddad into a dating sim, and we're drawing him really hot. Hey, Editor Kudos here. Big shout out to the Mini Kudos Discord, because it turns out I was completely fucking right.
For those who are new, I'm Colonel Sanders' great-great-great-nephew. I'm the last Sanders in his family line. Kentucky Fried Chicken has blocked me on social media for upholding his true history to let people know who he actually was. And they blocked me for calling out their advertising team as weird, disrespectful, and disgusting. Over the last decade, they have sexualized my uncle for marketing purposes. They have encouraged fans to sexualize him as well. I cannot and will not support a company that does that.
He then goes on to leak the alleged recipe for the original 11 herbs and spices. Burger King did a fucking thing in Spain. Again, for some reason there was a weird shit in Spain where they made a custom Call of Duty court. You get free Burger King vouchers for making the shots from different court positions. I love this one here, the half-court shot.
The harder the shot, the better the reward.
So the harder the shot, the better the rewards, with the implication here that you'll get like a full Whopper meal if you make a half-court shot. But look, the guy recording the footage for this couldn't make a half-court shot. Look, you can fully see the ball trajectory is completely off. And they cut like the second before it's obvious it's not actually going in. He just probably made so many half-court shots while recording, never made them. He was like, I don't give a fuck, we'll just pretend. At first I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe it's like the Everquest thing where there's some like in-game integration that somehow spits out a code if it can like detect you making a shot from this. But no, it's way more low-tech than that. You have to record a video of you making a shot, then upload it to Twitter with the right hashtag. Not quite as exciting. Subway to remove a mobile game aimed at kids called Jared's Pants Dance, named after spokesperson Jared Fogle. I'm not entirely sure why. Could be anyone's guess. Here's McDonald's. McDonald's did an Overwatch collab in Australia. Your reward for shortening your lifespan with their fucking abysmal food that I keep eating is probably the worst Tracer skin, right? And it's not even like they didn't make this one for McDonald's. This skin is just there and they were like, fuck man, no one's buying this piece of shit. Just McDonald's can have it, fuck it. They also did a collab with Faze Clan. Faze Clan, as I'm sure you'll know, made famous by this video here. Faze up. Faze Clan.
Oh man. Millions and millions of subscribers on YouTube. With all the athletes.
He goes into a game because I'm expecting them to be like, holy shit, it's Faze Clan. And then he has to explain to the clerk that they're professional Call of Duty athletes. Woof.
We just always pay our respects. Yep. That's where it all began, homie. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.
That sucks. That's really way worse than I remember. Anyway, those guys, several years later, got to collab with McDonald's with the first ever Friendsgaming. Oh, I get it. November. It's like Thanksgiving. That's why I can fucking get it. It's because you've changed both words. You can't change both words. You can't change the entire word to something else and expect people to still make the connection. McDonald's USA Faze Clan, the digital native lifestyle and media platform rooted in gaming. These guys are definitely rooted in gaming.
Yep. That's where it all began, homie.
That's where it all began, homie. They're invited to celebrate their online friendships with the epic combo of gaming and the official fuel of Friendsgaming, a thing we invented, which we've already placed ourselves as the official head of. Okay, you get to hang out with Faze Swag, Faze J Smooth, Faze Booyah, and Faze Santana. These guys are worth fucking millions of dollars now. You can get a crispy chicken expansion pack. You get a special DoorDash code that allows gamers to fuel up for Friendsgiving on November 20th with up to 3 of their favorite McDonald's crispy chicken sandwiches. Hell yeah. You get a headset stand to hang and display your gaming headphones, a phone holder to keep your device plugged in and within arm's reach in case you need to play a second smaller game at any time. Custom Faze Clan X McDonald's controller and keyboard decals. Hopefully one just says Faze up. We came to pay our respects. This is where it all began. Hopefully that's what it says. Extra crispy textured controller grip decals for no slip handling. I believe that's these here, which look awful. That looks like you've put plasters on your controller. And of course, a custom Friendsgiving insulated carry bag to keep food warm while your hands are busy owning your friends on the controllers. Nice. So there you have it. We are all caught up to date. That is the long history of all the various ways that fast food companies have tried to sell video games to us, from full home console platformer releases to beautifully rendered 3D adventure games on our family computers to kind of cynical social media a viral bait, viral slop. Doesn't feel like we're getting any fast food video games from any companies anytime soon. So, don't expect your PS5 or your PS6 to be graced with a fucking Unreal Engine 5 remaster of Sneak King anytime soon. But keep your wits about you, Fast food is neither really fast nor food nor cheap anymore. So I'm not really sure what their angle is. But hey, as long as I can keep talking about them and make fun of them, then I will keep doing that. And as long as you keep watching, I'll be here till the day I die. Hopefully at an old age. Hey, if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It tells YouTube, it calls up Susan. I don't know if she's still there. Is she still alive? Okay, well, maybe it's not going to call up Susan, but it'll certainly pass on the message to whoever's relevant. Be sure to head over to fantasydivision.online if you want to get yourself some merch. Help me out. Help me keep the lights on. Help me keep my pants on. And if you are after some delicious gamer-flavored juices and supplements, why, you could do no better than Gamer Sups. I love these guys. I've been using them literally for years before they even got in touch with me about sponsorship. So I leaped at the opportunity. Use code KUDOS over at gamersups.gg to get free shipping or $500 off or something. Thank you. Anyway, talking about all these fast food games make me hungry, so might be time to order in a large Mac. McDonald's, ba-da-ba-ba-ba.